Hello everybody, Tactic Angel here. We're back playing World of Tanks on the PlayStation 4, of course. This time we're going to talk a little bit about the Ram 2. Ram 2, I have had this tank for 3-4 months. I do not play this tank a lot. I do not particularly care for this tank. I won this tank out of a war chest, so I can hardly complain because I didn't buy it. But in the grand scheme of things, if you want somebody's opinion, I will give you mine on the Ram 2. Ram 2, vaguely based off of the M3, M4 line of tanks. This was made by some Canadians. They put a turret on it, and we've got the 6-pound gun here. The thing that the Ram is usually relatively good at for a medium tank at tier 5 is bouncing shots. It has 76 millimeters of frontal armor. That said, if you're tier 5 medium tank, you can end up in a lot of situations where you're not getting a lot of favorable trades, particularly because this little 6-pound gun does about 3 points of damage every time you hit somebody. And sometimes obviously that works for me, and with this tank I just find it doesn't. I'm not sure why, because I think this is basically the same tank you get on the Matilda. The Matilda's tier down. But as I recall, the highest tier that this can see is tier 7. Ouch. Ouch. I do not want to go up against any tier 7 tanks with a 6-pound gun, that is for sure. Average damage per shot, I think, is right around 75. It reloads really fast, so if you do catch somebody out of position, you can put a good amount of punishment on them in a hurry. That said, you are going to have to hit them a lot of times. There are pluses and minuses to that, but mostly when you get into the trading situation, it just doesn't work. Other than that, it's a tier 5 medium tank, middling sort of maneuverability. In almost every way you'd prefer to be that M4. You can load up a big, beautiful HE round and go dirt people to hell and back. But I mean, right there you're seeing kind of how the Ram makes its bacon. It can definitely put out a decent amount of damage in a hurry, and if nobody's paying attention to it, that really adds up. We're trying to control the top of this hill. Obviously we're getting into a situation where our accuracy isn't all that great, and with these fast firing guns, sometimes you get into the weird situation where the reload and the aiming time conflict, and you could see sometimes I was not getting fully aimed before taking my next shot. A little dangerous. I'm going to tell you that I am sitting in this base so that people come and challenge me for it. And that's not completely a lie. The issue is we're down a couple tanks. Or one tank, really. There are 3 artillery in the game, which they know where I'm at. And I'm not top tier, so I'm not feeling super great about my chances. I want people to come to me. That gives me a little bit better chance of having accurate artillery fire assist me. And worst case scenario, if they don't come and get me, then I guess I just win the game. Well, we clearly thought he was going to do something else. Not super accurate, but whatever. We got our shots in, we got our kill. We're still sitting with 5 tanks to 5 tanks. They're going to have to make a push for the base here in the next 30 seconds or the game is over. And as you see, they are not denying us a little bit of a fight. I switch over to APCR here. I will have some trouble with the 6-pound getting through a KV-1 otherwise. KV-1S, maybe not quite as much. I'm fairly certain he's going to delete me if he hits me, but I'm not really sure what gun he's using, that's all he did. And now, at this point, I feel a lot better about my life. I still think that it would be nice to get the artillery to come chase me, but I'm not sure that that is going to happen. I'm going to tell these guys I'm not going to go get them. I don't see any of them in the voice chat. I'm sure they would say some choice words to me, but I have my reasons. If I get shotgunned, that means that it's 2 artillery on 2 artillery, which is, I don't know if you've ever watched that, not the most delightful game. So we'll see if the other team is eager to win the game, because if they do come up here, I will have a pretty decent chance of defeating them in single combat. But then again, as you can see, they don't have to get all that close to me in order to kill me. And we are not disappointed.
The enemy knows our location.
We do have to make a break for it because we cannot hang out in the middle of this. Obviously, you can see that we are spotted. And at this point, there is really not a lot of reason to not go after these guys. We're going to drive sideways here because it seems like that would be harder to hit me. And apparently, he did not play all of the terrain between us. So, pretty good time there. We will go and try to finish this guy off without getting blasted in the face. If we do, we will get a top gun and finish off this mastery with style.
Looks like that one went right through.
I'm not all that worried about it. I would be just as happy if the artillery killed him. And there you go.
We did it. We won.
Mastery badge, 1633 damage, a couple hundred more assisted, a little bit blocked. Can't expect too much down a tier. There we can see a little bit more what we did, our efficiencies. Would I suggest purchasing a RAM? Probably not. There are better tier 5s. A Hydrostat comes to mind off the top of my head. 5.4 is cheap, but do that too. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.